Hi, husband.
Hi, husband.
Welcome to our very first episode of an interview series we're starting called Hi, Husbands.
Hi, husbands.
And we're super excited to get to know some gay dads around the world. Two dad families are very unique experiences, and we, as new dads ourselves, would really like to learn from some of the best. So today, our very first guests on this series are Justin
and Chris Michael,
two Dapper Dads. Enjoy. Hi, guys.
Hi.
Hey.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Now, Justin and Chris, you're joining us from St. Louis, correct?
Correct.
This
Yep.
is actually quite nice. We're in the same time zone.
We're in the same time zone. This is typically an issue. The central time zone is always a hard one to align with people.
Where exactly are you guys at?
We're in Houston, Texas.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. You know, we followed your journey. We love your content.
Thank you.
You have 3 kids now.
Yeah.
The youngest of which are a set of twins who are like 3 days, we just found out, 3 days apart from this guy, from Maverick. But you've been together, 10 years, I think you said? And you've been married since 2016.
Yeah.
Yep.
When in that journey did you say, you know what, let's do that, let's be dads?
First date.
Seriously?
Both. We very much, and we were, what were we, 23 or something? We discussed on the very first date, I remember at the restaurant, we both were like dead set, like, hey, being a dad is huge for us. And it was like very natural. And I think that was actually one of the reasons that we meshed so well right from the beginning. So right at the beginning is when we were like, you know what, this is a goal for us. But I think it was really probably like, one of the things, I think this happens for every kind of relationship, I think, but you're together long term and then you're like, we want to have kids, so we probably have to get married, like that whole thing.
Yeah.
So I think it was like a year before we were married that we were like, we need to start researching this. Yeah. And then we went hard right away. We're both kind of this type of people that if it's in our minds, like, got to do it. So, yeah.
Well, did you both meet and settle? Like, is that how you ended up in St. Louis? You both met there, and that's just where you decided to settle?
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I grew up military, so I've been around. But yeah, this is where I graduated high school, and
We met at like 21 in the bar, and we were both in a relationship at the time.
Yeah.
And we really we were both very respectful. We're like, hey, kind of cute, and just kept it at hey, and really never talked to each other for the whole maybe 2 years after that. And then he hit it up over on Facebook and pursued it. I played hard to get from the start, but yeah.
Yeah, that's
how it
definitely
went.
me. So, tell us about your kids' names, because I think they're so interesting. So Elijah is the oldest, and then you have Augustus and Malia as the twins.
yeah.
Are those family names? Like, how did you come up with those names?
I wish.
So for Elijah, we got into this vampire show called The Originals,
Okay.
and that's like the head vampire. His name was Elijah Michelson, and we just kind of went with
So our
it.
last name's Michael, and we were like, okay, we're kind of obsessed with these people, and we're like the originals because the way we got Michael is we dropped our last names, and we both had our middle name Michael. So we thought, we're starting fresh, and so we're Justin and Chris Michael, yeah. And then so none of our kids have middle names. We kept it like all the same. It's kind of cool. So
I love that.
yeah, it's cool. And then I wish I had some like really inspirational, like these are where our names are from. But my mom came up with Malia from Below Deck. She's the bosun in Below Deck. We really like.
I feel like
the name.
Madonna.
We
Doesn't
first
Madonna
girl
have a
names
child?
that we were just like cool.
Yeah, didn't really like girl names.
Yeah.
And then Augustus, we are in St. Louis where the Bush family and Anheuser-Busch originated. So Augustus is a big St. Louis name. And so, yeah, that's where we got it.
But I think those are all great. I mean, reasons and very unique names. But I love what you did with your last name. That's so clever. that you both had the same middle name, so you're like, that's fine. We'll just because we just hyphenated.
We just
ours.
hyphenated. I mean, even
Exactly.
when you got married, did you combine your names at all? That was only when you had
the kids,
the babies.
Yeah, we went separate names. I'm Smith, so I wanted to get rid of that as fast as possible. So yeah, once we had our first, we were like, yeah, we have to just for his sake. So yeah, it was at that time.
Now, I'm very curious, having such young kids in your house, are you both working, or how are you able to balance, if you are working, with managing a toddler and B, like, infants?
Yeah, twins. I mean, we only have one, and I'm just like, it's a juggling act. So how do you do it? Yeah.
It's not easy. We both work full time. Justin has multiple jobs. I'm in information security with the VA, and I have a 40-hour work week. But with a little help from family and friends, man, we're surviving.
We utilize help. Yeah. I mean, that's the biggest thing. I think a lot of people feel like they have to do it all by themselves, but we don't believe that. I mean, we couldn't do it without the help we have. We're grateful to have both of our immediate families local, which is huge. And then one of our best friends, she comes and hangs out on Tuesday and Wednesday with them. And it's just, that is absolutely, I mean, it's the biggest challenge. I mean, I would say that's the biggest challenge, having one kid, let alone 3 kids. We own a small business. We both have full-time jobs. 2 Dapper Dads has actually become something that we spend a lot of time doing. And so, yeah, it is tough. There's no great easy way to say, oh yeah, this is how we do it. We struggle with it all the time.
And to add, I'm able to telework from home, so that helps a lot.
That's nice. But also hard to work from home with the kids too. Right?
It can be.
It's very
it's overwhelming at times, that's for sure.
Do you guys both work from home, or do you work out, or how do you guys?
I work out of the home and in the home. I do a little bit of both, and Bret mostly works from home now.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's also a struggle because typically I work out of the home. So when I work in the home, then it's like a scheduling thing. I'm like, oh, I'm about to teach this private lesson here. I need an hour. So it's just a lot. Do you have a Google Calendar, or how do you schedule everything? Because that's a big argument in our house. Did you put it in the calendar?
We are the opposite type of person. I'm the mad genius that has no organization, and it's all right here.
Oh, okay.
Every year it's my resolution to work out of my planner, work out of my thing. Chris is the opposite.
I'm pretty scheduled by the books kind of person. I try to be.
Does it create any tension?
Yeah. Does it create tension?
Yeah,
for sure.
Maybe that's our really the one thing we find about it is just plan something. It's
hard to actually have a set schedule though. Our babies, we've been pretty fortunate that they're on a good eating and sleeping schedule.
Yeah.
And we can kind of work with that. But man, it's so hard to juggle just
I mean, I'm a realtor, so you can't really have a planned schedule. I mean, there's been so many times where I'm like, hey Chris, I'm cool today, I'm pretty chill, and then that day becomes the busiest day out of all days. So it's very much that. And so it's a lot of what you said. It's I mean, my clients probably think I'm this mega realtor where I'm I'm meeting with a client that time. My client is needing lunch and he's 2. So it's trying to just figure it all out at all times.
Yeah. What I'm curious, both of your families are local. How has, if it has at all, your relationship with your family changed since you've had kids? In good ways and bad ways, if it has.
Yeah.
It's
a great question.
Yeah.
I mean,
for me, I think I see my family more now that I have kids. I see my mom more because she comes over. She has her set days to come watch the grandkids. But with them being babies still, we try to avoid like the really big gatherings. So I don't know.
It's like it's both the positives are also the negatives.
Right.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
It's you know, we do see them more, but then we're also the type of people that, you know, understand that help is important, but then we also don't love asking for help all the time. So it's like that whole fine line, and yeah, it gets a little weird sometimes. And then we both have siblings with kids. I mean, my siblings have, one has 4 kids, and so I mean, and they're all young. So there's a lot of like that whole thing. Yeah. And a lot, you know, your family, especially your siblings with kids a little more too. It's like just difference between us all. And so you learn a lot more about your family, I would say. That's the biggest thing for sure.
Also, do you notice, since you have siblings that also have kids, do you notice that your parents, if they do or don't, treat you differently because you're same sex?
Oh.
Can you talk a little bit about that? Yeah.
Not because of that, I don't think.
Yeah. I think it's Justin and Chris are self-sufficient. Justin and Chris work from home.
Yeah.
They don't
Justin
need help.
and Chris, we're just a little more, I mean, sorry, sis and bro, if you see this, but we're just a little more together, I think,
Right. Okay.
than a lot of them. And it's, I think we get like the short end of the stick sometimes with that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting.
So sort of staying sort of in this vein of this question, living in the Midwest,
Yeah.
I think you're from Indiana, right? Indiana? Or you have family in Indiana or something?
Family.
I have
in
family.
Yeah.
Family, yeah. So living in the Midwest, do you have any stories of like being like gay dads in public stories? You know what I'm talking about? Where like someone's like, you know, this happened to us a couple of times where people like can't believe they're seeing 2 men with a baby.
I think, you know, I definitely think we've had one scenario that like sticks with us. That park. I will first say we live. I mean, Missouri gets the worst rep and political and everything, but there's chunks of where we live that are so not like that. For example, we live in probably the gay friendliest suburb of St. Louis. I mean, we have our straight neighbors fly pride flags, and it's really a cool area. So our immediate area, it's kind of normal, if you would say. But we've been in a situation where we've been at a park, and this older lady came up to like 2 different straight couples with kids. Oh my God, they're so cute, blah, blah, blah. And then they all left, and we're left there, and she's just staring at us, like wouldn't even talk to our kid. I mean, it was crazy, which like, who cares? But it's funny that there's still very much those people out there that see 2 guys caring for their kid, the kid's laughing, having a great time, safe, and still can't do it. It's really interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting. And I'm very curious, what are the questions you get asked? Like from total strangers. Ooh, this cough just started today. But like, you know, we were on the plane 2 weeks ago for Christmas, and some woman's like, so which one is he? Which one is he? Right?
Exactly.
Like, I don't know you. I'm not I have to explain it to you.
I would say that's the number one. Honestly, we don't get a ton of rando questions, but I would say if somebody is going to ask, it's that, whose sperm is it? Right. And it's very like, ease up. But who's the mom, dad? We've heard that a few times.
Mom, dad.
Who's the mom, dad? Yeah, which one of you are the mom? Those questions are just like, you can usually tell if there's like an intention behind it, but yeah, most of the time we just say there is no mom, and just end it there, or yeah.
Yeah, we just say he's both of ours.
Yeah,
exactly. They don't have a mom. They
don't have a mom.
Yeah,
a surrogate mom.
Yeah. Exactly.
They have a birth mom, right? But
exactly.
You don't have to, again, I don't even explain that to you. I don't know you. You know, like
exactly.
What is the most challenging thing you guys face being parents that maybe doesn't even have to do with being gay? Like, what is something that you've learned maybe that you didn't know or have really come up against in parenthood?
It's a good question.
For me, it's juggling time.
Yeah.
And just juggling all of these different things together and trying to keep my sanity as I do it. And finding like me time, I guess, is huge and has been pretty difficult to find.
Yeah,
that's mine.
I would totally agree. I mean, it's kind of what we talked about earlier for sure. It's the managing. I mean, you know, going into being parents that it's you got to manage your time and whatnot. But yeah, it's definitely figuring out when you're in a bind and you both have something to do with work. I mean, it's really tough.
Time for ourselves has been hard.
Yeah, and then I would also say it would be worth mentioning when you have multiple kids, it's the same way that somebody's advice doesn't really mean anything because you know it's one kid is totally different than the other, and our three kids are so different, and so it's like you got to be a customized parent. It's got to be personalized per child and can't be one size fits all. And nobody has the answer for how you are supposed to do it because they don't know your kid.
That's
right.
so
good.
That's so
right.
good.
It's like such a blanket approach that you see in like marketing and stuff, but every kid is.
Oh my God, so different. Even the twins are like, could not be more different. They are so different.
Wow.
Well, we know that Bret has a twin brother, so we're aware.
Do you?
Yeah.
Oh, you're a twin. Wow.
Yeah,
Are you
identical?
Yeah, identical
or fraternal?
Do you guys still have this weird twin bond? I'm very interested in that. Or no?
I mean, honestly, like moving out of Texas and going to New York City for 25 years and then, you know, getting married, it just kind of changed our lives and who we are, our personalities. But up until like our mid-20s, I think we were very, very bonded.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, it's just changed now because of family. I mean, you know, we went our separate ways.
Yeah.
You know.
How do you find time to, you know, you talked about me time. How often do you guys actually like work out and take time for yourself or have like a date night? Because we have a scheduled date night tomorrow night and I almost our plans had changed and I almost just said, well, we don't need to take it. Why don't we just stay home?
Wait, no, we need to go. I need out of the house.
So do you have scheduled date nights and how do you do that?
We don't. No, but I think it does go back to we do have like that tribe that understands, and it's about not overutilizing that. I mean, they know when we're asking, it's like, okay, like we'll do it. So we make it a point to at least have, I would say, one a month. But it's funny, like our anniversary is on New Year's Eve, and so we had this like big thing where we're like, okay, we're gonna go to dinner. We had all night and overnight too. So we're gonna go to dinner, then we're gonna go to the bars, or we're gonna go to the casino. We had dinner and we're done by like 8:45, and by 9 we were on the couch like watching Netflix, and it was perfect. But that's what date nights very much have turned into.
Yeah.
But to answer your other question, you know, I think we also respect each other enough to know that, you know, that we're both stressed with this, but like if you're saying like, hey, can I go work out now? Like it's more than just working out. It's like that carved time for yourself. And so, yeah, I mean, we kind of have to carve that within our day, but we do very much have a set time to take, even if it's 30 minutes, just to go stretch or do anything, take a run, do something like that. I mean, we very much do that every day. It's
remember when you used to just work out just so you could look cute on Friday night? And now it's like, I would just love to work out.
Now I'm like trying not to be sore. And like, trying to keep my heart like still pumping. Yeah.
That's very true. That's very true. Yes.
Totally.
We have one more question. I'd love to just hear if there's any sort of resource or thing or tool or like a book or a course or anything that you've ever used that you feel like has helped influence your parenting style or how you go approach your being a part of the family that you're building currently?
Yeah, I would honestly say, and this might sound weird, but exactly what we're doing right here. Like, I would say our little Instagram community, it's more than us trying to be influencers and sell makeup. You know what I mean? This is truly our life. And that's why a big part of what we do on Two Dapper Dads, we don't try to look perfect or have these scenarios where it's like, oh, that's what dads are. I mean, it's ugly and messy, and we try to show that. And that's truly, I mean, we've learned so much from these type of conversations. We get inspired by these type of conversations, and it truly has been the biggest way that we form who we want to be as dads. And yeah, it's been huge for us. And that's why I think we put the effort we put into it is so when we were going through the surrogacy process, I mean, we were defeated over and over and over just in the beginning, just like, there's no way we can do this. This is so much, so hard. And yeah, it was like talking to dads on here, and we want to be that for somebody else, that inspirational, like it's possible. We are nobody special, but we've been able to achieve some really cool things that really a lot works against us. But if you really want it, you can achieve it.
That's amazing. You're like kind of making me cry. I'm also super tired, but like that's super inspiring, and I love how just real and authentic you are online, and we really appreciate.
We appreciate that, and you guys too. You guys have a really cool story before kids too, though. So it's you brought it all together, which is really cool, and we see your authentic self as well, and it's very refreshing to see, because this is being dads in today's modern world for sure.
Yeah.
Anything else you guys want to add?
No, I think we're good. I think it's, we're super excited to have met you, and we're close. If we're ever in the region together, let's hang out.
Please. Yeah.
It'd be fun.
It would be so fun, especially because the twins and Maverick are going to be.
It's wild how close they are. He is so good. My gosh. Like, I don't know what that baby is, but our babies would be biting us or doing some crazy tumbles. It's he is so good.
Wow, we feel blessed.
We're lucky. Thank you.
All right, well, it was so great to talk to you guys. Everyone, go follow Two Dapper Dads on Instagram. What other platform?
We're on Facebook and TikTok.
So, great content.
Awesome content.
I can't wait to see you like start to actually, now that you're getting out of like newborn stage, like style your wardrobe a little bit more. That's gonna be super fun.
Get out of these sweatpants and maybe get out of the house. Yeah.
Same.
Us too.
We hope you enjoyed our first interview of the series with the Dapper Dads.
Thank you, Justin and Chris Michael, for being our guests. Make sure you go follow them at Two Dapper Dads. And if you have specific questions or specific requests you want from this series, let us know in the comments, because we, of course, want to keep inspiring you, entertaining you, and letting you know that you belong out in the world. So, bye, husbands.
Bye, husbands.